Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Dr. Topes once again. If you are working with Node.js and want to make sure your apps are as fast and efficient as possible, you are in the right place. Today we are covering the top tips for optimizing Node.js performance, whether you are building an API, a web server, or anything in between. Let's jump in. Before we dive into the tips, let's quickly go over why performance matters in Node.js. Node.js is single-threaded, which means all tasks run on a single main thread. If your code isn't optimized, it can block the main thread, slowing down your app and causing bottlenecks. So these steps are all about making the most out of Node.js strengths while avoiding the common pitfalls. Tip number 1. Make use of asynchronous functions wherever possible. In Node.js, async functions prevent blocking the main thread, allowing your app to handle more tasks at once. For example, if you are handling file input-output, network requests, or database queries, use async functions like fs.promises for the file operation or async away to keep your code non-blocking. Tip number 2 is caching. Caching is especially useful for data that doesn't change frequently, like user session data, product list, or frequently accessed database queries. Using a caching solution like Redis allows you to store this data in memory, so you don't need to repeatedly hit the database, and it saves you a lot of time. If you are using Express.js to build an API, make sure to minimize the number of middlewares you use as possible. Middleware is great, but too much can slow down each request. Go through your middleware stack and keep only what's essential, and only apply middleware to route that needs it. If your app is handling a high number of requests or heavy computations, clustering can help distribute the load. With clustering, Node.js forks multiple instances of the app, each on its own thread, making use of multiple CPU cores. Similarly, worker threads are useful for heavy tasks like image processing or calculations. Next up, optimize your database queries. Avoid overloading your database by using indexes, patching multiple operations, and filtering data before it reaches your app. Tip number 7 is to compress and minify your HTTP responses. By compressing large files like JSON payloads, images, or CSS files, you can reduce load time significantly. Enable gzip compression in Express to reduce payload size for each request. Those are some of the top tips to optimize Node.js performance, from asynchronous functions and caching to clustering and database optimization. These strategies will help keep your app fast and responsive. Let me know which tip you found most useful in the comment section below. Or if you have your own go-to performance tips, please share with us in the comment section. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe for more productivity workflow tips. I will see you later in the next video. Thanks, Dr. Topes.